Sweet dreams are made of these. Corn syrup is thicker than blood. I don't even know where I was going with that. I don't know. It was one hell of an episode. We got a boy band, horse heads. We got gummy bears. And yeah, kind of like basically, it's like having an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Focus on Odeon. That's right. We are here to discuss Kamen Rider Gavv episode 36. Turn around, awakening Master God. Yeah, we are there, people. 36 episodes in, roughly 12 to 15 to go. I can't believe it. Like, we're almost done with the season. It's hard to believe, man. It's like, when a season's good, it moves so quickly. But when you have a God chart, it takes forever. But here we are, halfway through the end of an era. Because here we have a major character death, as one would expect when a main character gets their final form. Where we left off, Longo managed to take in a lot of human presses to impress President Jaludek's request for 10 million units of dark candy. Our heroes got washed royally. Even Shoma went full Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, where like he's just too muscular to land a hit. Where do we go from here? Well, I'll tell you. First things first, you got Jeeb getting really salty that Longo procured a lot of candy. Like, I remember when Jeeb and Sheeta took forever just to, like, make ends meet. But also, there was the restriction that, yeah, we're trying to stay incognito. If we're not trying to be incognito, what can Longo pull off? Damn. And keep in mind, this is not just to make the food request. This is also to lure out Shoma and put him in his place. Imagine how much worse it would have been if, one, Longo was in charge of intake. Two, we did not have the restriction of trying to stay incognito. And three, we didn't have riders coming after the Stomach family. Imagine how much worse that would have been under those circumstances. Our heroes are just left licking their wounds. But yeah, part of it was, Hanto's considering like blowing the whistle on the existence of Granutes. And he recognizes this might make things more difficult for Shoma and Lakia, being that they're both Granutes. But also, if the people knew better, they'd be more prepared to like not be in that kind of situation as readily. So, like, I get where he's coming from, but the question is, how much of a difference would it make if, like, it's impossible to keep people, like, in small populations forever. People need air travel. People need aquatic travel. People need to attend conventions, universities. It's like we've reached a population and a society where keeping a low population in a confined space is so commonplace that it's harder to prevent that from happening. But what choice do we have here? What choice do we have here? Of course, Lakia is still consulting with what's his name, with Dente, and I do like that the two of them are in fact collaborating here. It still feels weird that for like 2 or 3 episodes they kept teasing that Dente was supposed to die, and yet here he is not. He's still alive and well, just missing all but 12 of his teeth. But with that in mind, it's like he comes to Dente comes to a very logical conclusion that to simply inject his victims the way Lakia did would be very inefficient for a crowd of people that big. So they had to have used some kind of aerosolic method, like using some kind of gas. And that's exactly what happened. But that's why Dente was able to concoct a not necessarily a antidote, but at the very least he was able to concoct like gas masks to protect the 3 riders. Meanwhile, Jeeb used the information he extracted from Lascelles about Dente's plans to give to Shoma. Why? No, seriously, why? Like, does he hate Longo so much that he's gonna run the risk of his own brother getting killed by his bastard half-brother? That is such an odd thing to do. Like, and I'll say this it does make Jeeb come off as more juvenile in comparison, because imagine being so petty that you're literally sabotaging your own teammate just because your ego got bruised by them. And not even your half-brother, your full flesh and blooded older brother. It's like, yeah, Longo's an asshole. Yes, he planned to marry you and your twin sister off to like rich people in order to like make the power of your family grow in status. Yeah, like arranged marriage, it kind of sucks, generally speaking. I know some people, present day culture, still do it, and like no hate towards people that are happily married under those circumstances, because weirdly enough, in certain statistics, some families are happier that way for some reason. I personally don't understand it, and I'm not going to try to understand it, so I'm not even going to take any attempt to criticize that concept. But I will say this, though. It's like, yeah, Longo was a dick, but not so much that, like it warrants you trying to sabotage him, possibly even resulting in his death. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so it turns out like his next attack is going to be the concert that Sachika's friend is going to, and despite being advised against it, she still insists on going. Meanwhile, Shoma contemplates like his place in society because, yeah, his brother made a point about how whenever he gets scared, he would always hide behind his mother, but now he has no one to hide behind. Now, Hanto did have like reservations about showing Shoma what people thought about the dog whistle, because a lot of people were in fact scared of Granutes, and kind of makes sense why. It's not like it's no surprise there. But turns out there's a lot of people that were actually happy to have met the Kamen Riders, even if they're half Granutes, because some of their lives were changed for the better because of it. In one particular case, and some of the cases that we actually do recall were the mother and child from the first episode. You know, the child who you thought probably should have been one of the main characters, but wasn't. And you do get one of that a Kabuto man, where you know, like the VTuber who lost his account to a Kabuto Mushi themed granite. But yeah, no, Showa mainly flashes back towards the one that actually did matter. You know, the one kid that he saved in the first episode. That's great. So Showa results that, you know, even if he can't stop concert from happening, then I may as well stop Longo from trying to destroy the concert. And of course, Longo resolves to get the job done despite Glotta's apprehensions, because you know, the main goal is to improve the family standings. The dark candy for him is just a means to an end. And I do appreciate the bit of back and forth between him and Glotta, because she seemed to have been really depressed lately, and it's like the last thing that Longo says to her was kind of like reaffirming to her, because you do see her smile, and for the first time, it's not a psychotic smile where like, oh yeah, I'm gonna freaking kill you. No, it's more like, at least there's still one good thing going on in my family, because my sister's dead. Two of my four brothers are, well, 3.5 brothers are turncoats to the Jaludic family, and the one half brother is trying to kill us. So it's nice that, so basically Longo is effectively her anchor. So the concert starts, and you know, we got the Gochizos trying to figure out if there's any grannies disguised as concert staff. But when the concert begins, you have this massive shower of red bubbles. I'm like, oh no, I know where this is going. Say that! I'm just kidding. No, it's Lakia's venom distributed in bubble form. That when popped, it causes the gas to emit, causing everyone to pass out. Thankfully, our three heroes managed to put on the masks that Lakia made in order to, not Lakia, Dente made in order to protect themselves. Meanwhile, some of the part-timers do disguise themselves as attendees in order to collect, but thankfully they were stopped by Hanto and Lakia. One of them has like a somewhat of a monkey motif. Kind of reminds me of the Monkey King a little bit. The part-timers do try to scramble to get as many presses to Longo's henchmen, but Lakia tries to intercept them, and of course, they have an all-out battle, and it's really cool. You got Hanto fighting random granites. You got Lakia fighting elite henchmen, while Shoma is inside the garage. Well, not garage, but the underground facility, intercepting Longo. And of course, Shoma intercepts. It's like, I know I don't belong to the Stomach family, but I don't need to. Because when you pushed me out of your family, you brought me into the human world. A world where I actually have friends. A world where people believe in me. This is a world that I want to protect. And we get even more flashbacks of like people that Shoma helped. And it's like, and yeah, sure, you got like bad things that happen, like when Bitter Gavv tried to frame him. But there are also good moments, like eating all the yummy snacks I had with my best friends. So here we are. We're about to have our final battle against our oldest brother. And, you know, I like that Longo, if you like, it's a blinking image, but Longo kind of smirks at Shoma's speech. And part of you might think, Yeah, like this is just my bastard half brother trying to be like trying to play superhero, but also you could interpret it as well, at least unlike Jeeb, you have resolve in what kind of person you want to be. So you could even say that in this brief moment, you could say that Shoma has earned Longo's respect more than Jeep has. At least that's my interpretation, because keep in mind, Jeep was never the type of person. Like, I know this whole confrontation has nothing to do with Jeep, but am gonna go off on him. Jeep is a very acquiescent character. He's a very passive character. Even when he was the main villain in, well, not the main villain, but the focused villain in the first arc, it wasn't so much him that was the focused villain as much as it was Sheeta. His twin sister was the one that took charge. He was just there with her. He supported her. He was her partner, but the thing is, it's like he was never the one to take charge. Heck, even when Shoma used Cake King's finishing move, it wasn't directed at Sheeta. It was directed at Jeep. She pushed him out of the way so that he could live. So when you think about it, when Longo dies, it's not just him getting killed by Gavv. It means twice in a row, Jeep was the reason two of his siblings were killed by his half-brother. Yeah, I'm going off on that. And yeah, he's a passive character. Even when he married himself off to Lascelles was the one who took charge. Sure, he saw this as an opportunistic moment for him to like change his circumstances, but again, she pulled him out. He didn't push himself up to her. When she became president, it was her, not him. Lascelles wears the pants in the relationship, even though they're both wearing a skirt. Yeah, I went there. So excuse me if I have reason to believe that in this very moment, or even so briefly, even if it's ever so slightly, Longo, as far as I can interpret, has more respect for Shoma than he does for Jeep, because Shoma is an active character. Is he the most well balanced compared to the other three main characters? No, he isn't. Lakia got better character development than Shoma did. Not saying Shoma is a poorly written character. Sachika is a fantastic character, and she barely has any screen time. But much like Mari from 66, she carries her weight. But still, Shoma is a very compelling character. And he definitely grew up as a character more than Jeeb has. So, yeah, even if it's not said outright, reading between the lines, so said Jérémy de Brazier. Yeah, like, I will go so far as to say that Longo has a bit of respect for Shoma for standing up for himself and for affirming the kind of person he wants to be. And of course, he takes his gachapod and places it into his Gavv, ready for battle. And he continues to make an epic speech while he is like transforming, causing the tiny gochizos inside that are now in their gelatinous form to cry, causing the thing to turn over upside down, and it's like heating up and whatnot. Of course, when he transforms, instead of turning into Over Gavv, he becomes Master Gavv. Okay, here we go. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We finally get to see his new form. And yes, it's very gelatinous. and in a way that's more interesting than Overform. So what started off as a gummy bear of a Kamen Rider, we finish with a gummy bear of a final form. And what's really interesting about gummy bears is that the history behind them, because originally the only gelatin candy you would find for the longest time was in Turkey, where they had Turkish delights, but and of course they used gelatin in order to make the in order to make the Turkish delights. But no country in Europe could ever replicate it. Like, they could not mimic it properly. It doesn't have the same consistency, the same flavor. So what they did was they cut corners and they made gummy candy as we know them today, more or less. One of the earliest forms of gummy candy, or especially the gummy bears, came out in Germany, and it was known as gummy bar. Yes, I know, Gumbar the gummy bear. I really hate the character. I hate the song. I prefer Disney's gummy bears. Yeah. Gummy bears, a high adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. Yeah. So it was invented during the Middle Ages, and the main ingredient was gum arabic. Yes, that's the actual name of the ingredient. And gum arabic is actually tree gum that combines two different species of plants, believe it or not. But also it uses gelatin, which, originally used gelatin. So, but the use of a bear specifically was right here. But then a British company named Haribo made the very first modern-day manufactured gummy bears in 1920, and Haribo is actually a portmanteau of the founder of the company, Hans Riegel Bonn, or Haribo. It's kind of like a JoJo reference if you think about it. And yeah, no, it was super popular. It came in 5 different flavor variations, and oddly enough, the green one was strawberry. I know it's hard to believe, but green is actually strawberry gelatin. But despite being so uberly popular in the 1920s, gummy bears wouldn't be a thing in the United States until the 1980s. Like 1980, a couple of companies show up. 1981, Haribo makes an American branch, and became so popular. You even had like a gold variant. You had soda variants. You had other companies like Jelly Belly making their own gelatin-based products. But if you want the tried and true flavor, you want to go with the original Haribo, because it's the historical variation. And yeah, this is this year's Kamen Rider. Gelatinous gelatin soaked in fruit juice. Believe it or not, it was called wine back then, but it did not contain alcohol. So, just saying, it's a fun fact. But I'll say this: the new form very much resembles the original in color scheming, but has a much more orange undersuit because of the whole over Gavv aspect. Now, what does this new form do? He's just really fast. That's it. He's just super fast. He doesn't stop time. He's just really fast, and he has a spring in his step. Like as opposed to having like a defensive gelatin that bounces attacks off of him, he instead uses his body to bounce off of other objects to increase his momentum. Unfortunately, despite having heavy momentum, his attacks do not hit with that much force. So basically, between Over and Master, Over is slow but strong, while Master is fast but weaker. But one thing I do like about the Master form is the fact that one, he does the ora thing where he's like gobble 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 gobble, and he's so fast that he manages to like slip past Longo's defenses, which is great. But unfortunately, by the time when he slips through, his attacks aren't very strong. So what does he do? He has an idea. Basically, the moment he slips past his opponent's defenses, he switches to Overform and lands hits. So basically, he uses one of his two forms in order to parry, dodge, deflect, duck, and flank, while the other form lands the finishing move. So it's like ora, 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 ora. And I will have to say, it's very smart of him to do it that way, because many other seasons would probably just like let him use his master form and just like finish that way. That's it. Just let him finish. Just let him finish like with master form. Or there would be other seasons where they would say, "Oh yeah, no, Overform is basically an incomplete version of his final form. This is a complete version." But yeah, no, that's not what they did here. It's like they're both equally stronger and weaker compared to each other. So the best way he could take advantage of that form, of both of those forms, is by strategically use them together in alteration. And I love how he picks that up very quickly and actually takes advantage of it. Now, I'll say this. This is not surprising, because if you go as far back as episode 2, where like he was like trying to figure out how to use his Zaku Zaku chip swords, of course he's like trying to like understand how his powers work. That's one of the earliest things I praised about the season. It was amazing. But here, it's taken full form where like, yeah, he's taking like he figured out how like the strengths and weaknesses of his two forms, and he's using both of them in succession such that they're the most efficient at the right moments when they need to be. And oh man, the choreography, the special effects, it was brilliant. Like all the references to Sonic, JoJo, Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, it's all there, and it's amazing. You even have a rail grind sequence. It is so beautiful to watch, because like on its own, it's like it's not that great of a final form. It's like, oh, please, your special ability is being fast. Kabuto can stop time. Like, what makes this form so special? Like when you look back at the Reiwa final forms, 0-1 has predictive AI. Saber can summon the elemental power of all 11 swords. Revice, well, Revi and Vice can use a magnetic attraction and repulsion. It's not particular, like it's more utilitarian than it is anything else. Freaking what's his name? Geats 9, like he can manipulate reality itself. Like he basically has the powers of both Yoko Kurama and Crazy Diamond. Gotchard, he has rainbow powers. Okay, that one was not really that great. He has rainbow powers. That's pretty much it. But this guy, he's either fast or strong. But that's the thing I like about the seasons. That's what I like about Shoma. It's not that his powers are more remarkable compared to past riders. They're not. They're not even that flashy compared to past riders. But the way he uses them with purpose and precision. And I like that. And like he can even summon gummy bottles to basically use as a series of ricochets. And he manages to like overwhelm Longo to the point that he even makes a scar on his face. I wish I could see him de-transform so I could see the scar in his well, technically he is de-transformed. When he's transformed into a human, I want that scar to still show up on his face. But no, this is our final battle with Longo. So of course we're gonna like get right into it. So he uses these gummy bottles as a cage to like keep ricocheting off of to increase the momentum to the point that he's able to land lethal hits against his brother. And then finally he uses this epic rider kick. I mean, epic in the sense where like the color palette is just phenomenal. And like his entire visor all the way to the tips of his ears are just glowing in the dark like it's a sunset. And yeah, he kills Longo. He was successful in defeating the eldest of the Stomach family. The most at the moment, the most powerful member of the Stomach family. The one that everyone else feared, even Glada and Yelv. And Jeeb is just in shock. His brother was just died. Of course, me, I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? You literally set the stage for it to happen. Jeeb, Longo is dead because of you. You're the reason he's dead. And of course, everyone's returned. Everyone's at the concert. Homegirl like passes out from excitement, but then she recalls that she woke up in a different seat. So she's kind of putting two and two together that she might have been turned into a human press. But she's so excited that she got to see her favorite band perform. She doesn't really put much thought into it. But thinking back on the fact that she was attacked, she's relieved by the fact that the Kamen Rider did save her. You know, like obviously she doesn't know that Shoma was the rider that saved her, but at least she knows that humanity is being protected. And of course, while Sachika goes off to celebrate with her best friend, our three heroes are just happy that we're having a bit of peace right now. And that's where the episode ends. What's going to happen next? Well, can't wait for the next episode because this may very well tie to the Granude that kidnapped Anto's mom. Of course, at this point, does it really matter? Like, we know that she was technically safe inside the factory up until like she tried to escape, and then she came across Shoma, and then she was killed right in front of him. So the wolf monster doesn't really matter all that much. But I do have to wonder, he was remembered as having a red Gavv on his abdomen. So what does that mean for us? I feel like that's the one detail that we did not really get into. Part of me was hoping maybe Shoma turned into a full Granude, went rogue, turned into a wolf, accidentally kidnapped Hanto's mom, and then not being aware of it. She tries to save him even though he's the reason she's there in the first place. But no, I very much doubt that's what's going to happen. This episode is a 10. I loved it. It was fantastic. I loved the new suit. I like it more than Overgov, to be sure. And again, for me, it's not even about what powers he has as Master Gavv. It's the way he uses powers, because speed and strength is very mundane in the world of Kamen Rider, but using them in the way that he used them here is what makes it interesting. This is what makes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure one of my favorite shows, because you have one overpowered ability versus another overpowered ability, and the winner is determined not by which one's more overpowered, by how creatively they use their overpowered abilities. And you even have some characters with very mundane looking abilities that can be very lethal if used correctly. So, going back into my humanist adoration for good writing, yeah, of course I'm going to give this episode a 10. Where do we go from here? First of all, I'm curious how the theme song is going to look different from here. I noticed in the last couple of episodes we saw older forms of Gavv instead of his most recent one, i.e., his marshmallow form in the previous episode and chocolate form in this form. Sorry, chocolate form in this episode. So I wonder why they did that. Like, why aren't they just using Over Gavv and Master Gavv? But yeah, I'm curious about that. But also, when we saw episode 17 onward, because Sheeta died, like she was kind of like bubbled out in a small segment of the theme song. So, but given that Longo's center of it, I wonder how they're going to do that part differently. Like, are they going to have just Jeeb, Nielv, and Glotta? Is it going to be just Glotta? Are they going to change the sequence altogether to include that, like, oh, you got Lysel, Jeeb, and Nielv, like, on one side, while Glotta's on an opposing side? That part I'm very curious about. But let me know what you guys thought. I'm so excited. We finally get a new final form and Lango's defeat. Absolutely. Who placed bets on which member of the Sonic family will die next? Well, I knew that the next one was going to be either Jeeb or Longo. I'm just like really surprised that it played out the way it did. Because again, I was expecting Jeeb to have one of two possible fates. Either he gets killed by Lysel or by Longo. One out of revenge, one out of anger, the other out of boredom. Although Lysel wouldn't be the type to just directly kill Jeeb, but rather Jeeb will probably lose in a fight against either Longo, which is no longer the case, or against Shoma. And while he is waiting at death's door, he would probably beg Lysel for to help him. She's probably like, I'm bored of you. Because that was low-key teased in episode 29. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening. And given the fact that Jeeb is gonna transform in the next episode, I'm thinking this is what's gonna happen very soon. Yeah. So I would really hate it if Jeeb ends up becoming the final villain. Or even Lysel, for that matter. I mean, I don't know how Glotta or Nielv will become the final villains, though I do feel as though Nielv will probably be the final member of the Stomach family surviving. But as far as who the final villain is, it could be the president. It could be Lysel. It could be Jeeb. I really hope it won't be. How crazy would it be if Suga survives and turns out he will be the final villain? That would be too weird. Let's not go that route. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy this episode? Are you excited for the next segment of the story? Let me know in the comments, or Let me know in your future comments. Stick around and we'll discuss it some more. If you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon, stay notified for our latest videos, and share our videos because it helps us out with the algorithm. We only need about 80 more subscribers to reach our goal of 3,000 YouTube subscribers. We will do a video in honor of that. We won't reveal what that video is going to be. All we know is that once we finally get 3K, you guys will get like a really fun video from us as gratitude. We do Ultraman Z on Mondays, Kamen Rider Gavv on Wednesdays, number one Sentai. Hold on, let me do this right. Number one Sentai Go Juju on Thursdays, and the original Kamen Rider on Sundays. We only have 10 more episodes to cover before we're done with our third arc, and we're going to be ready to discuss the second movie, Kamen Rider versus Ambassador Hell. I'm excited to finally be making great progress into the world of Kamen Rider Ichigo because it is a very long season. Also, we recently uploaded a couple of interviews. We got Ron Roget from Lightspeed Rescue and David Fielding from the original Mighty Morphin. That's right, we got 2 back-to-back mentors in one weekend. We also filmed some content on from Pasadena Comic-Con, so definitely stick around for that. It's going to be both on the Morphin Network and on our sister channel, The Buttery Show. If you want to say hi to us in person, we will be at RoboToy Fest June 8th at the Burbank Marriott Hotel. It's going to feature the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers SPD, featuring the return of various cast members, including Brandon McLaren, Monica May, and Matt Austin. Additionally, we got a reunion for all 3 members of VR Troopers. That's right, we got Brad Hawkins, Michael Hollander, and Sarah Joy Brown. And on the subject of Sarah Joy Brown, one of our cast members, Sean Kanan, was one of the actors that we met this past weekend. So you can definitely expect an interview to be uploaded for that. On our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews and episode discussions, we will be uploading episodes 7 and 8 of Gundam G-Quox in our shorts, and we recently reviewed movie Sinners. June will be Karate Kid month in honor of Karate Kid Legends, featuring both Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan in a new film taking place in New York City. And yeah, all 6 Karate Kid movies on the 6th month of the year. How exciting is that? And if you want to follow me on my personal channel, you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. And if you want to say hi to some of the other members of our squad, check out Ranger Stop and Pop in Orlando, Georgia, at the Omni Hotel on June 13th through the 15th, which features the cast of Mystic Force. And go to G-Fest, which is in Chicago, Illinois, at the Hyatt Convention Center. That's going to be in July. So definitely check us out at those various events. And until next time, please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.